We've heard this time and time again that violent video games perpetuates violence. It creates murderers, creates carjackers, just shitty people in general, right? And sure, you can find studies that support that, but you can also find studies that support the opposite. Anything that you take a stance on, you will find a study that supports your stance. But if you look and you look hard enough, you'll find studies that support the opposite of what your stance is. It's just the way it is, man. And I don't think violent video games are necessarily the problem. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a freaking scientist. I just know how I grew up and how, I raised my children. And this article right here, ban sale of Grand Theft Auto and other violent video games. This has nothing to do with just like not allowing kids to buy like M-rated games. It has to do with just these games are not allowed to be made and sold anymore to adults or children. And you know what? Most stores that I know of will not sell Grand Theft Auto or any M-rated game to a minor. I've done audits for a company going to this has been a few years now since I've done this, but I would do these specific audits, make a few bucks doing it, and it was just pretty simple stuff. Take a minor with you, go to Best Buy, have them go grab a game like Grand Theft Auto or any other, M-rated game, have them go to the cash register, and you need to distance yourself and evaluate the situation. See if the employee sells it to the kid, right? Now, if they sold it to the kid, they fail, and you report all that, the employee's name, the whole interaction, whatever. I did, man, maybe close to 100 of those audits, and not a single store that I did these audits at did they ever fail. None of them would sell a game like that to a minor. It boils down to the frickin' responsibility of the parents is really where it's at. You know what I mean? If you have a problem in your specific city with carjackings, like this article talks about in Chicago, they're putting different measures in place with carjackers at gas stations and having security and whatnot. But they think because, you could jack cars in Grand Theft Auto, that there's a correlation with the crime in their city. So they're blaming games like Grand Theft Auto for the massive amounts of carjackings that take place in their city. Doesn't make any damn sense to me. Maybe there's other problems. I don't know. Figure that shit out. Stop blaming something else. This isn't the first time this kind of thing has happened. So here we go. Carjackings on the rise in Chicago and elsewhere. I mean, it's not just in Chicago, but apparently, they have a big problem going on right now. A Southside Democratic state representative has introduced a bill that would ban the sale of Grand Theft Auto and other violent video games. Marcus Evans Jr. wants to amend a 2012 law preventing some video games from being sold to minors, right? I don't have a problem, like I said, with doing the audits and whatnot. Yeah, if you want your kid to play that game, that's up to you. You purchase it. A kid just sneaking in and going to GameStop or Best Buy and buying Grand Theft Auto and they're 8 years old. Yeah, come on now. Of course, don't sell it to them. I'm fine with that. But an adult, you don't get to choose what we consume. You don't get to choose what we do as long as we're not hurting others. If we're in our own home playing a video game and it's not I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto. Now all of a sudden I want to go beat up a hooker and steal a car. Never has happened. Never has happened. I think there's other underlying issues. I may be wrong. I may be right. I don't freaking know and I don't care. I'm just speaking my mind right now because I think this is ridiculous. They want to amend the law to ban the sale to anyone of video games depicting psychological harm, including motor vehicle theft with a driver or passenger present. So, you're going to have to change these games to where it's not people. It's freaking dogs and cats or something. I don't know. How do you get around that if this actually went through? You never know with the world today, what will actually become law or not become law, how they'll choose to dictate your life and how you can do things. Who the frick knows? I don't mean I'm not a political channel and I don't mean to get into I actually hate politics. I don't get into it as far as, this party, that part. I don't I try to live my life as ignorant as possible and just deal with the day by day because I know at some point I'm no longer going to be living and only right now matters. So I try to enjoy my freaking day and I don't want to argue about stupid shit. And I think this is stupid shit. Oh my God. Evans had been contacted in January by Early Walker, who started Operation Safe Pump, to prevent carjackings at gas stations and shopping centers. Safe pump positions security guards from Kate's Detective and Security Agency in areas with high numbers of carjackings. Okay, all right, that's fine. Do what you got to do, but why ban the sale of video games, right? The bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote these activities that we're suffering in our communities. And I feel for you. If you live in a community that has a lot of crime going on, yeah, man, something's got to give. Something's got to be fixed. Something's got to be figured out. Is banning the sale of video games that are violent like the answer? I don't freaking think so, man. The bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote activities. Yeah, we already read that. Walker said he reached out to several state legislators to ban the video game after noticing similarities in local incidents of carjackings and actions players can make in video games. I feel like this game has become a huge issue in this spectrum. When you compare the two, you see harsh similarities as it relates to these carjackings. It's like I said earlier in this video. If you try to find a study to support your stance, you'll find it. You're probably going to try to bypass the ones that counteract what you think, but those studies exist as well. You can find similarities in anything. Anything. You could even take Super Mario Odyssey and find something in that game that you think is going on in the real world and you don't like it. Now you're going to say it's because of Mario Odyssey. I'm just like, that's a fairly family-friendly game, but you could find things in anything, anywhere you look. Just because you could find something doesn't mean there's a correlation. Doesn't mean that that's the source of the problem. People jacking people's cars at gunpoint or however they're doing it, Ninja Stars, I don't freaking know. It's not because they played a video game. It's not because a video game exists. Has some other reason behind it. Do people like most people, like, they're not born bad. You know what I mean? Like, and where you look at that and like, oh, that's an inspiration. I want to try that. There has to have been something there if they are inspired by something they see. And the reason that they do what they do isn't because of that. It's because of something else. How many ways can you say that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel for any of these areas that have these issues. I'm in an area that has, you know, a few issues here and there. I've lived in areas that there was like nonstop issues. And I never thought like it had to do with violent video games or violent movies. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bad people doing bad things. And why? Why are they doing it? Is it because they played Grand Theft Auto? I like to think no, it's not. But, you know, apparently some people still believe this crap. But there's that. Like, I don't like the rest of this. There's not a whole lot going on. But yeah, it says that they had 218 carjackings in January. That's freaking ridiculous. I don't think 200, maybe one of those was attributed to Grand Theft Auto. But all of them? Like, even now I'm just joking. But seriously, how does any of this make sense? Banning the sale of the game. Oh my God. In Illinois. But then all this stuff just spreads. Like, they want to make this nationwide. I just move me to Mars already, Elon freaking Musk. God dang it. I want out. This world is crazy, dude. I'm just done with it, man. Appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to me. This is a little different topic than I normally discuss, but, you know, reading this and seeing people mentioning this, it struck me. You know what I mean? No matter, you know, where you stand on anything, like, is that the answer? Is that the answer? Banning the sale of games, any kind of game? I don't think so, man. You got to find the root cause, and I don't think the root cause is violent video games. That's just the way I think. Agree, disagree, it doesn't, you know, really matter. As long as you thumbs up the video, you can disagree with me all you want. Peace out, bye-bye, big-ass thumb butts in your face, and boom, bye.